Okay, fellas, expecting a really big training shift this week, okay? We want revenge on these guys for that 4-1 loss that we suffered earlier this year. We didn't play badly, but it was just unacceptable. And you guys who are suspended, you need to put in twice as much work, otherwise you guys are shouting us beers at the pub, okay? Big week, boys, come on.
Looking for trouble and fights, but you found me. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I'm glad you're someone to rely on, someone to rely on. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I could be someone to rely on, someone to rely on, someone to rely on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and today in episode 6, as mentioned in the intro, we look to get some revenge on Vikingur after they beat us pretty heavily quite early on in the season, our first game on camera in the second part of the season, as we do look to hold on to a promotion spot in this third tier of Icelandic football. So if you are looking forward to that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But as you can see on screen, there are today's opposition. This one is a home game for us, so hopefully we can perform a lot better than we did against these guys at the start of the season when, as I said, we lost 4-1. Changed some things tactically after that, especially defensively, and we have looked a lot more secure at the back since then and have started being in the goals as well. So hopefully we can get some revenge. They have slipped down to 5th, so this should be at home a game that we are capable of winning. But after we lost to them pretty heavily earlier on in the season, it could be a tricky one. A couple of these coming up for us in the second part of the season should we look to get promoted in this first season of this save. But since yesterday's episode, which if you missed, I'll leave a link to above my head in the top right corner, we have played a few league games, so we'll catch you guys up on the highlights from those. First off, we took on Rainier, the team that we took on in the first game of this save competitively. It took us a while to break these guys down, but at the hour marker corner, which Spasic got on the end off to put us 1-0 up, and then Chris Jansson slots Morad through. Nice pass there to Sverrisson off the bench, and a pretty solid 2-0 win, albeit it took us a little while to get going in this game. You can see that once we did get that goal, we really started to get on top of them, and in the end picked up a pretty solid 2-0 win away at Rainier. And off the back of that, another away trip for us, this time to IR, a team right down towards the bottom of the table. But you may have remembered that I mentioned a Norwegian striker right at the start of the save who I was looking at signing after he came here on trial. Well, he went on loan to IR, and sure enough, the man popped up very early in this game with only 12 minutes gone. They play it for Dugson up to Mjelde. That is the player. He gets that for our goalkeeper's hands, unfortunately. Pretty soft goal, that one, but he comes back to bite us, the man that we tried to sign at the start of the save to make it 1-0 to IR. Luckily, a few minutes later, nice ball in there from Morad for Chris Jansson, and we did equalise. But then, just after the resumption of play, we nearly get the ball back there from Morad, ball over the top, and Mjelde is there yet again to get a double against us, so that's a little bit frustrating. Luckily, though, we struck back yet again pretty much immediately. Nice ball there from Algerson. Chris Jansson just gets to it before the goalkeeper takes it round him 2-2. Then they got a late red card for 2 yellows in this game, and that made a big difference. We were able to overwhelm them late at the 80-minute mark. Ball in from Chris Jansson. Algerson gets his head on the end of that to make it 3-2, and then a free kick only a few minutes later. And Inigo off the bench is able to put that away, and we eventually pick up a 4-2 win, a very hard-fought one. You can see that red card at the 80-minute mark did prove quite telling in that game, and we got a good little run going XG-wise off the back of that, those 2 goals, which allowed us to secure the win stats-wise. Pretty good performance from us. Mjelde keeping them in the game, but we got the job done, and that is what matters. So what that means for the league table going into today's game is that we are still on top, 2 points clear of Lekner. They take on Rainier, so a pretty comfortable fixture for them. We have got a tougher one today against Vikingur. As I said, they have slipped down to 5th, but can certainly keep themselves right in the hunt with a win in this game. We are 3 points clear of the teams outside the promotion zone, but with that game in hand, we could pinch a very big break on them if we win this game with only 8 games left in the season off the back of this one. That would be a nice little advantage to have and should see us in a position where we can start to be thinking about promotion a little bit more confidently than we have been so far in this save. But we do go into today's episode with a few suspensions. If we go to the tactics screen, run you guys through the squad. Unfortunately, both our left back and our ball-winning midfielder have been suspended for this game. That means that Shaun, the defending one, is going to go to left back. I'd rather use him as a centre back. He's got decent height. His form hasn't been as good recently, so that's a little bit concerning, but we're going to try him at left back. He's quite promising, 19-year-old, so he's going to be a crack at left back in place of Shaun, who is not the greatest rated player, but has been performing for us really well in that fullback role. And in the ball-winning midfield role, Bjarnason is a decent player, comes in for Volsungur. We're not missing too much there. It does mean our bench is a little bit weaker. Bringing Finlay McNabb onto the bench, he might get his first taste of first-team football competitively in today's game, but missing Volsungur as well as Hrafsson is a little bit of a concern, but hopefully we can still get the job done with what is mostly a first choice 11. Lots of players in good recent form, and we will come back shortly from the Husavik Heroes for this game where hopefully we can get some revenge on Vikingur for earlier in the season. And we have a highlight almost immediately from the kickoff in this game, a goal kick which we give straight back to the opposition. They are in the all black, we are again in the green and white, and they play that into the box looking to expose us. Down the right hand side, bit of a loose pass. Willard is able to put that in the mixer, and Barkisson puts them 1-0 up very early. That is a terrible start from us, just not at the races early. I thought they might have stuffed that up. Just you'll see here shortly once Willard gives this back to his teammate Dominguez. This pass was a little bit loose. We try and close it down, don't do a good enough job, and he just gets that through our defence there, does Barkisson, and we go 1-0 down early against Vikingur. 34 minutes gone here. It's a throw into Vikingur. Stats-wise, since they got that early goal, we have been dominating things, but hasn't been shown any highlights since then. We try and head that clear through. Shaun ends up being another good chance there for Barkisson. Still 1-0 there, creating all the good chances highlight-wise, but you can see there from the stats, we're not performing too badly as we get closer to half-time. And that is half-time in this game. We are 1-0 down, as you would expect, considering the highlights that we've seen. But as I said, just before we got into this, not too bad stats-wise. It's looking quite similar to that game that we played against them away from home early on in the save. We did change the passing directness before this game and the last couple to go from more direct just to standard, as I did feel like that could help us out possession-wise. That has been one of our weakest areas so far this season, not keeping possession enough. We're doing better in possession, but not quite creating enough good chances. We'll make one change at halftime. Morad not performing well on a yellow card, so the Argentinian Fiolacia can come on for him, and hopefully we can get it to all square, if not pick up some winning goals in the second half. Okay, up to the 61-minute mark here, we're going to make another substitution. No highlights so far in this half, despite us still looking to put the pressure on these guys stats-wise, but it is Husavik who is not performing well. He can go off for Inigo. Half an hour left to go. Still a goal down. And up to the 69-minute mark now. Still no highlights throughout the second half. We are struggling a little bit in Shaun up front. Not having the greatest game. We'll bring Sverrisson on for him and just see what we can do up there. He can go in the deep lying forward role, as our assistant does recommend Olgierson in the advanced forward role. So we'll make that last change. Still searching for a highlight in our favour with 20 minutes to go. And shortly off the back of that substitution, we have a corner. It falls to one of our players, Baldursson, just over the bar. Still 1-0 down though. And up to the 80-minute mark here, we're not doing much. We are going to go to the more direct passing style, try and pick the tempo up. Still looking for a equalising goal with only 6 minutes left. 91 minutes gone of 93. It is Vikingur in possession. Good little clearance as we try and get that ball away from the opposition's possession, but they do get it back and look to get us here. Hopefully we can pick this up at some stage, but they continue to be on the attack. Willard with a shot just over the bar. It does remain 1-0 Vikingur, and we do have a highlight shortly off the back of that, and we want as many highlights as we can get late in this game. We have not really fired much today, which is a little bit disappointing. Maybe we need to go back to the more direct style, as we do win a corner there. Goalkeeper trying to come out and claim that, so it does not happen. So hopefully this results in something in our favour. Signgrimsson about to put this into the mixer. Unfortunately, no one's there for us, which is a bit disappointing. They head it away. We are over the 93 minutes. We're about to have a throw in here. Hopefully there's time for us to take it as the referee is giving us a few added seconds to try and work something in this game. Bjarnason, can he pick out a teammate? He gives it straight to the Vikingur goalkeeper, and it was a bit of a tame game. It has to be said. We lose 1-0, and potentially we've found ourselves a bit of a bogey team here. Bit of a disappointing performance that. We certainly create enough chances based on the stats that we saw, but we do lose 1-0, and that does mean that we lose top spot in the league. And I'll look at the league table back in the inbox. It does mean we slip below Lechner only by 1 point. Still 3 points clear of the teams behind us. Plotter Reykjavik are behind us 3 points, so we're still able to drop one more game, but that is a bit of a disappointing result. I think we've already found ourselves a little bit of a bogey team in this third tier of Icelandic football. Vikingur, a team that stats-wise, we seem to be able to dominate quite comfortably, but we do just struggle to convert our chances compared to what they do when we come up against them. So that's a bit of a disappointing result in the first game on camera of the second part of the season. But as long as we still win the games off camera that we're expected to, we should hopefully be making our way up to the second tier for the second season of this save. Maybe we missed those players who were out on suspension as well. That could have also been something that played there. We might go back to the more direct passing style as well. It seemed to work quite nicely in the friendlies. The standard helped us retain possession, and as I said, that's something we have been struggling with so far. We don't hold the ball very well, but maybe with that more direct style, we're going to end up creating better chances than what we do with that standard passing. Anyway, so we'll have a little bit of a think going into our next game off the back of that result, and hopefully when we come back for that next episode, we will still find ourselves up in the promotion zone, and that could be a pretty big game in terms of deciding the title, depending on our form in between now and then, as the next game will be against Lechner in early September. The two games that do stand out for the rest of the season are that Lechner one and the Plotter Reykjavik one, so I think we'll come back for those two. We might also wrap up those last two games in that episode as well. We'll see how things go. If we're looking good for the title or not, we might even do two games if we can secure the title in the one after that. But that will be coming up next week. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break from editing videos over the weekend, as it's been a pretty busy week with trying to wrap up the Taking Over Tottenham series as well. And usually I don't do any recordings over the weekend anyway, so we'll come back Monday night UK time, Tuesday morning New Zealand time for the Lechner game, and then we'll come back and wrap up the season. And hopefully we'll be able to get into that second season fairly shortly off the back of that second episode next week, albeit, as I said in yesterday's episode, it is a rather large gap in between the start and finish of each season here in Iceland. So I'll try my best to avoid a non-upload day, but we'll see what we can do, and hopefully we'll still be in the promotion zone when we do come back for Lechner in the next episode. But if you did enjoy today's one, unfortunately couldn't quite beat Vikingur despite dominating that game stats wise, losing 1-0. If you did enjoy it, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until next week, Monday if you're in the UK, Tuesday morning if you're here in New Zealand, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.